Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from the Boston Globe. It was published on June 7th. It was written by James Pindell and Matt Visor. Now when I saw this article I actually got a kick out of it. Just look at the title. Why hasn't Bernie Sanders endorsed his son's run for Congress? I looked at that and the first thing that popped in my head, and I heard this in Bernie's voice. This isn't like, schizophrenia hearing voices. This is like, my mind having fun on the note of this and playing a little joke, but, my own sense of humor, making myself laugh type of thing. But all I could picture, and hear was Bernie, at a podium going, well, my son is just not communist enough. He is the Alex P. Keaton of my family. Okay, I cannot honestly endorse someone who is, the Alex P. Keaton of my communist family. And he's not even like that, but compared to Bernie, he's fucking Alex P. Keaton. I mean, that's the type of situation we got going on here. But I mean, it's funny because you would think when he has a lot of clout, they're trying, to regain seats. And like, say, in the case of New Hampshire, where Bernie's kid is running, keep seats. Because Carol Shea-Porter, I didn't know that Levi, his son, was running for her seat. I knew that she was stepping down and not going to seek re-election. So that's an open seat. They could seriously lose that seat with this election. You would think Bernie would be like, oh, it would be smart for me to go and endorse my kid. That way, the Democrats don't lose a seat. But no, he won't do that shit. But anyway, let's get into this article. Senator Bernie Sanders has traveled to Iowa and narrated a 30-second ad to endorse one congressional candidate and journeyed to Allentown, PA on behalf of another. He publicly backed a mayoral candidate in Omaha. In fucking Omaha, Nebraska. Fucking Omaha, Nebraska. Alright? You got Bernie in Omaha endorsing a mayoral candidate. Local fucking election. But he won't endorse his own damn kid. That's a little fucked up. It honestly is. And I'm not even talking on a nepotism standpoint. Because you have a local election where it really isn't going to amount to shit. If this Democratic candidate that he endorsed wins, well, actually in Nebraska, you never know. I mean, a Democrat winning in that type of, environment in that region of the country could be interesting if they did. I don't see it happening. But in a place where the Dems could lose a seat, his kid's running, and he won't endorse the kid. I mean, the Sanders name would probably help a bit on that situation. I mean, if you want to look at it strategically. And I mean, it's the truth of the matter. But while he's busy endorsing politicians across the country who share his liberal values, Sanders is taking a non-committal stand closer to home when it comes to his own flesh and blood. Sanders has refrained from endorsing Levi Sanders, his only son's campaign for the Democratic nomination for a New Hampshire congressional seat. Well, this is going to... I don't care what Bernie's going to say to try to justify this, which they get into, because obviously I've read the article. There has to be more going on than what he's going to claim. I personally think it's more along the lines of he doesn't think his kid can do it, and it's not one of those ones of, being a realist. I just think he is one of those type of, asshole, prickish fathers who, doesn't think that their kid can deal with their own shit and be a success. he just seems like that type, because socialists don't think that people can succeed on their own. They don't. Because, oh, we got to have the social safety nets. We have to give free shit. You know, those types of things go against the fact of believing in people and their ability to succeed. And I think it's no different here with his kid. The Vermont senator and former presidential candidate who has an ardent following in New Hampshire. Bullshit. I live in New Hampshire, okay? Oh, you two guys must be smoking fucking crack, because it sure as shit ain't the fucking legal recreational weed in Massachusetts to be writing that shit. Bernie really doesn't have that strong of a support here in New Hampshire. I live here. Now, on the other hand, if you actually did, and you actually went around during the last presidential election and looked, you saw Trump signs in yard after yard after yard after yard after yard. Then you'd see maybe a Hillary sign, okay? You didn't see any Bernie signs. Oh, wait. Most of Bernie supporters... Oh, wait a minute. What the fuck am I talking about? Most. None of Bernie supporters ever owned a fucking home in this state. Sorry, but I think that's pretty fucking true, because you never saw in someone's yard a fucking Bernie goddamn sign. Just saying. Oh, God. This is so fucking funny. Crack smoking reporters from the Boston Globe writing complete and total bullshit. So, yeah, all right, where we left off. Who has an ardent following in New Hampshire, where he defeated Hillary Clinton in the 2016 Democratic primary. Also has not encouraged his legion of supporters to help Levi Sanders. He hasn't even traveled to New Hampshire since his son announced he was running in February. Now, the only reason why... The only reason why Bernie beat Hillary in New Hampshire is because the bitch is crooked as fuck. And people in this state just happen to know it. People in this state just happen to have long memories. Okay? It wasn't for the fact, you know, live free or die. The state motto is also a way of life for a lot of people here in New Hampshire. All right, that don't mean give me free shit. They just went, well, I'm Democrat and I have a choice. I can vote for the crooked bitch or I can vote for the commie. And when you vote for the commie over the crooked bitch, that goes to show you how bad the crooked bitch is. And communists, okay, all right, that leads to Pol Pot, Mao, Lenin, and Stalin, the Khmer Rouge, all of that. That goes to show how bad Hillary was when they'll vote a fucking communist. Because he's an open admitted communist. You know, he couch surfed till he was 40 being a communist. And I don't care him saying, I am a democratic socialist. When you literally want to steal everyone's shit, regardless of what they want, you're not into democratic anything. But for him to, you know, beat her, that just goes to show how bad of a candidate she was. And this fact that he won't encourage his legion, you know, his quote-unquote legion of supporters, all 50 of them, to help Levi is because, like I said, I think it's the fact of how he is as a person and how he is as a father, and not thinking that his kid has the ability to do shit on his own and succeed. And I mean, because it just seems like he's that type of prick, asshole, fucking cocksucker of a father. And I love, you know, well, he hasn't even traveled to New Hampshire. Well, of course not. Because why would he go and show an interest in what his kid's actually doing? Because he's a cocksucker. The father is acting as if the son's campaign barely existed, making for an awkward political storyline for a family that shares its ultra-liberal lineage right along with the DNA. No. It just goes to show that Bernie's a fucking cocksucker and a prick. To his own flesh and blood, to his own fucking son. His, like, actual, factual, only, like, you know, from his loins, fucking child. It is especially strange because Levi Sanders has been a constant presence in his father's political life, from sitting on his lap as a 2-year-old during Sanders' first run for public office to following him around the country during the senator's 2016 presidential campaign. Well, of course, Sanders is a fucking narcissist. It's got to be about him. It's me. It's got to be about me. And if there's going to be someone with the name Sanders in politics, it's gonna be me. That's what this is fucking partially about. I mean, you can tell that he is that type of person. All right? When he has actual people, you know, ask him questions. If you look at, like, a situation where he actually gets, you know, upstaged or critiqued, like, say, like, the town halls with, Ted Cruz. His behavior is reflective of what I'm saying. So it makes sense that it's the kid. Oh yeah, the kid can, you know, support the father and follow him around. But when the kid needs a little support, Bernie's like, fuck you, kid. Oh, excuse me. Doing Bernie's voice is a little hard on the throat. But yeah, so I mean, you know, you got Bernie here, he's got no problems with that. He's that type of prick of a person. You can just tell. Levi Sanders seemed to take his father's firm stand on the sidelines with good humor when contacted by the Globe this week, but he was hardly expansive on the subject. And I love how they try to spin this, okay? Because this is kind of a fuck you. Alright? Saying someone was more of a... Alright, they're like, oh, this was just a joke. But this is kind of like a jab. Like, well, you know, was more of a father to me. You know, could be considered more of a father to me than my own father. I mean, this is kind of like how I interpreted this, okay? You know I'm not Bernie's son. I'm the son of Larry David's fourth cousin, he quipped in a brief conversation, referring to the distant blood tie between the comedian and the senator. That's more like a fuck you. That's more like, you know, not necessarily like the father like I was just saying, but it's more like, you know, alright, I'm more, you know, I associate more and consider myself closer, would have been more appropriate to say. But yeah, that's how he's basically kind of having this come across as. It's like, yeah, well, I consider myself associated more with Larry David than my own fucking father. That's how that comes across, but yet they got to try to spin that shit. He initially agreed to a more extensive interview on Tuesday night, but then canceled it and has not responded to numerous messages left with him and his campaign associates. Well, yeah, which backs what I'm saying about, oh, I don't know, that there's some fucking, like, bad blood going on here because Daddy Bernie is a prick. I think that's why. Because he's treating his kid like shit, and if he actually did the interview, he might call out his father's shit, and he really doesn't want to cause problems with Daddy. Because, you know, he's like Austin Powers and fucking Gold member trying to, you know, seek his daddy's approval, which is probably one reason why he's running for Shea-Porter's, you know, congressional seat. Going, Daddy! Daddy didn't care. I know I can't sing, but that's, I mean, I can picture him singing that song from fucking Goldmember right now. I mean, because this is how this is coming across. It really is. Bernie Sanders, whose tepid statement after his son announced his campaign was notable for its lack of endorsement, provided a statement to the Globe highlighting Levi Sanders' support for raising the minimum wage, rebuilding infrastructure, and making public higher education free. Because, yeah, if everyone has a college fucking diploma and cheapens the fucking thing, it makes it about as worthless as a fucking high school diploma. So then what? Now you've got this never-ending fucking cycle because, oh, well, if you got free higher education, where do you draw the line? Because if you make it all the way up to PhD free, okay, everyone's going to have worthless fucking degrees, and you're going to have fucking baristas at I don't know, Starbucks serving shitty coffee that tastes like burnt shit because they got to pay off 6 figures of student loans, and they're a doctor with a useless fucking degree. So yeah, let's praise that shit. Levi, I wish I could read his let's see. Let me try and see if I can do it in his voice.
Levi has spent his life in service to low-income and working families, and I am proud of all that he has done, he said. In our family, however, we do not believe in dynastic policies. Levi's running his own campaign in his own way.
Translation. Let's translate this shit. I don't think this is just talking out of his ass, because I really don't think that he's truly proud of his son. Okay? He's just saying what is politically expedient on making himself look good by saying that. You know, because if he actually said what he truly felt, I don't think people would look at him the way they do. The whole thing here, though, of dynastic politics is complete horseshit. Because dynastic politics would be, say, oh God, what the fuck is his name? The guy from Chicago, I think it is, I think it was Chicago, who nominated his son or said that his son or grandson should take his position, okay? The Bushes, okay? Dynastic politics. The Clintons, okay? They think that Chelsea is going to eventually be president. That's a wannabe dynastic politics, okay? I wouldn't consider, say, Ron and Rand Paul to be dynastic politics, okay? Because, one, they ran in different states. Two, they ran for different seats. Three, it wasn't like, you know, a situation like I just laid out with the one that the name escapes me on, where he's like, well, he should just get my job, okay? He worked for that. So this isn't dynastic. This isn't being handed something. Dynastic politics is when you're just handed your... All right, Justin Trudeau. Dynastic politics. He was basically handed that shit. Okay, Levi, not so much. And what I think is kind of going on here is Bernie is afraid that his kid could take away from his steam. He's afraid that his kid could show him up because he's a fucking narcissist. He's made that clear with the things he says, how he acts. Okay, with the fact of,
oh, I'm a democratic socialist, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you what's going on, and I'm going to just take your fucking money.
Okay? Because he thinks he knows what's right. That's narcissism. And he's afraid, you know, he's afraid his kid will upstage him. He's afraid his kid will, you know, exceed what he's done. It's that type of situation. He's a sick fuck. He really is. I mean, I knew he was a sick fuck before this, but this just goes to show it. When he will pull his dynastic bullshit. Aversion to dynasties aside, New Hampshire observers speculate that the real reason Bernie Sanders has not weighed in on his son's behalf is that Levi Sanders is running what most in the state considered to be an inept campaign. An inept campaign. And Bernie Sanders doesn't want to be damaged in the run-up to a potential 2020 campaign of his own. This is the same fucking idiot who thinks that, oh yeah, I endorsed Hillary, that's good for me. This is the, you know, if he'll endorse Hillary, he'll endorse Hillary fucking Clinton, who stole the nomination from him, but he won't endorse his own son because it could damage him. Holy fucking shit. You don't think that endorsing, you know, the psychopathic bitch wasn't going to hurt him or didn't hurt him? But his son, oh, that'll really damage him. Are you fucking serious? Who the fuck in New Hampshire thinks this? Is it like one of his 50 fucking followers that you managed to find? Because that is such... Oh my lord, I'm sorry for the Tourette's right now, but this is such bullshit. Nobody I know is really considering Levi as an option, said former state senator Burt Cohen, who was Bernie Sanders' first prominent endorsement in 2016 and is backing a rival of Levi Sanders. Excuse me? Former state senator Burt Cohen was Bernie's first prominent endorsement? At least they found a fucking state senator so they could go, oh, prominent. No one really knew who the fuck this guy... I mean, beyond his fucking district, no one knows who the fuck this idiot is. They're lucky they didn't pull someone out of the House of Representatives. We got like 400 and some odd people in our House of Representatives in the state. Then I would be really laughing. And you'd probably have 5 minutes of me cackling like I have, you know... I had a fucking Joker bomb blow up in my face or some shit, you know? And this is the DC Comics world. I'd be cackling like a psycho fuck. I'd sound like the Joker. I mean, seriously. Wow. I love the fucking shit that the Globe actually puts out there sometimes. I mean, it is so... I mean, you know, the Washington Shitpost, they get labeled fake news. CNN gets labeled fake news. And the Boston Globe tends to really write some beautiful fake news pieces like this one. Yet they don't get called what they are. It's fucking hilarious. Oh, God. No, it is actually worse than that. I don't hear anyone even bring up his name. People aren't sure why he's running. If Levi thought he could just transfer the enthusiasm from his father to himself, well, he is learning that it's just not happening at all. Wow! They seriously are like... The thing is the Democrat Party in the state is going to make their choices. They're not going to give they make their choice on who they want to see leading the thing. It's like that, the national level. The Democratic Party is just corrupt as all fucking hell. So they got their favorite that they want, which I personally believe is probably Shea-Porter's her pick that she thinks should succeed her. But they're not going to give him a platform. They're basically going to treat him on this seat like the National Committee, the Democrat National Committee, and Hillary treated her daddy. I mean, his daddy. Well, he's kind of a cuck, so her might be right. But, yeah, so, I mean, when you don't hear anyone bringing up his name, it could be the fact that no one in your little clique is talking about him. It could be the fact that, you know, the Democrat Party here in the state doesn't really want him there. Never mind the Democratic National Committee wanting him there, so he's not getting the attention that he should. Could that be why, maybe? And this fact of How has he tried to transfer his enthusiasm from his father? That fucking Cohen here is trying to push as a narrative. How? Because his last name is fucking Sanders? If Bernie had endorsed him, then you could make that snide fucking remark and have it be based in reality. Okay? And I'm not talking fact, like reality on the note of fact. I'm talking about of perception. Okay? Then perceptually, that might be correct. Not factually, but perceptually. But his father hasn't endorsed him. This is in an art. They're talking to you about why his father hasn't endorsed him, and you're trying to play it like he's trying to cash in on daddy's name. Sounds to me like you might be sucking Bernie's dick, and, you know, with it being the flaccid fucking old man wrinkle balls dick that it is, you know, you were able to talk with, you know, with your mouth full, a term I use loosely, while he was telling you to play that shit. Because this goes along with you claiming that, goes along with how I'm saying that Bernie is showing himself to be. You know, it kind of does go along with that. So I think you might be a Bernie dick sucker. Not just a Bernie bro, you might be a Bernie hoe. It is just silly what he is doing, Cohen added. The way to sum up how people feel about the campaign is the eye rolls you get when his name does infrequently come up. Oh yeah, I think you're a Bernie hoe. I think you're like, you know, sucking his dick while you're pushing this shit because, you know, there's issues with father and son. I mean, that's kind of made clear when, you know, he's talking about how he's the son of the fourth cousin of... Oh, God. Yeah, this is some fucked up shit. This really is. Levi Sanders, 49, does not even live in the 1st Congressional District, which, while not a legal requirement for running for a congressional seat, is often a political necessity. From his home near the Vermont border in Claremont, New Hampshire, it takes over an hour to enter the district. Yeah. This is what's fucked up. He lives near the Vermont border. He's not in the district. And he's running for the seat, which, all the power to him. You know. Because Hillary Clinton literally took up residence the night before in a hotel room in New York City before the election for her to, you know, when she was running for senator, and that was legal. At least he's a fucking state resident. And I mean, he should probably be running in the district, you know, for the seat for Claremont when it, you know, like for that seat for Congress comes up for Claremont, but whatever. And then to show how stupid Levi is, or the Sanders family is, just on the note of gene pool, the stupid fuck lives near the Vermont border, in Claremont, and he commutes to fucking Cambridge, which, you know, Boston, you know, MIT, that part of the, you know, that part of the Massachusetts area, he commutes there. That's a bit of a haul for a fucking commute. Not the brightest bulb, huh? He commutes to Cambridge where he works as a senior legal analyst helping clients who have been denied federal benefits such as Social Security disability insurance. His limited personal experience as a politician includes a bid for Claremont City Council about 8 years ago, which he lost with a 7th place finish in a field of 9. See, why is this even pertinent? We're talking... You don't even want him to win. I mean, this is funny. You're bringing this up, and you're using this to try to go after him, and I'm looking at it from the other perspective of why wouldn't his father want to endorse him? And I'm not looking at it from the perspective of you. I'm looking at it from the perspective of the type of person that Bernie is. And you're just, like I said, you're fake fucking news. You're pushing this fucking bullshit. Why is this pertinent to his father endorsing him, that his past political experience was a 7th place finish out of 9. His father fucking couch surfed, living off of other people for over 40 fucking years. No political experience whatsoever. Card-carrying communist. Thinking that he should just get free shit his whole life. That he shouldn't have to work for himself. That he shouldn't have to earn a living. That he shouldn't have to do those things to better himself and his family. No political experience. And I think when you have those fucked up beliefs like that, that I should just get handed shit and so on and so forth, when you have that going on, not exactly a good foundation to build a political career off of. And he ran for fucking office. And obviously, he won with that shitty background. Yet, you're trying to use a fucking run for city council 8 years ago to try to make Levi look like a bad fucking candidate. Holy shit, you guys are fucking high. Levi Sanders in a crowded field of 9 Democrats and 3 Republicans, all vying to fill a seat being vacated by Democrat incumbent Carol Shea-Porter. Yeah, he's in a crowd of 9 Democrats and 3 Republicans. I wish there was more Republicans running, because that's some fucked up shit. Although, I'm hoping the Democrats play a little cutthroat and one that no one wants somehow gets in, like Hillary somehow got in with rigging the fucking, the primaries. The district, which covers a swath of the eastern part of the state, includes Manchester and Portsmouth, has been among the most volatile of swing districts in the country. Donald Trump barely won the district in 2016, and so did Shea-Porter, who has endorsed her chief of staff in the race, Naomi Andrews. Well, see, it isn't necessarily that it's so volatile. It's the fact that it's so close to the Massachusetts border, and if you go back in my video catalog, you'll see I did a video. I'll try to find it, if not. But you can do a search of my videos here on, whether it's on YouTube or BitChute. It might even be on DTube. I'm trying to think if I started uploading at that point. It might not be. But anyway, it was proven that there were all these very questionable votes, okay? And people had witnessed individuals coming up from Massachusetts and voting. So it's an easy drive. I mean, you're not going to see in Cook County, for example, them drive all the way up there to cast illegal votes. Just not. But when you can easily take the highway, straight from Boston, Route 93, right up into Manchester. Huh. Maybe that's why? Portsmouth, take 95, straight up. 40-minute ride, give or take on each one, from Boston. Just saying. I mean, I find that a little convenient that Manchester and Portsmouth are in a district where you can conveniently cross the border, bust people in, and get them to vote. Just saying. Sanders raised only $11,500 by March 31st, according to the most recent filings with the Federal Election Commission, while one of his campaign rivals, Mara Sullivan, had raised nearly $1 million. And I wonder what she did for that $1 million. I guess Levi is either not appealing enough to do those things, or he's got standards. I wonder if Mara Sullivan is a Hillary bitch. Twice over the past week, he has been the only no-show for candidate forums, and a survey conducted in mid-April found that 82% had never heard of Levi Sanders. Still, there is time before the September primary. And the thing is, if Bernie endorsed him, said, these are his policies, these are the things that he wants, these are how they align with mine, odds are it would get him a shit ton of votes, and he would probably do it cheaper on the note of how many votes he got, like per dollar, than the rest of the fucking candidates. At least on the note of the Democrats. I honestly think that would be the case. But, you know, Bernie being the narcissist like I've already got into, I don't think you'd see that. Well, Sanders isn't among the top 2 candidate frontrunners. Really, no one has any name recognition, and anyone has a chance to catch fire, said Andrew Smith, director of the Survey Center at the University of New Hampshire. I suppose Sanders could be one of them. And here's the thing. He has fucking name recognition. Sanders, fucking communist little fucker who ran for president. Okay? Rand Paul. Rand Paul had name recognition because of his father. Okay, that got people to take a look at him. They looked at his policies, and then they voted for him. So they're trying to play this like, oh, there's no name recognition. But when it comes to the fucking Democrats, Sanders is supposedly a name with some weight. That's what made no sense to me reading this the first time. Like, how the hell can they play this and actually have people try to buy, like, you know, actually try to have people buy this shit? Or hope that they would have him buy this shit. But Bernie Sanders' decision not to weigh in has played a role in dampening support for his son. Well, no fucking shit. Several longtime policy observers say. If his own father isn't backing him, why should voters? Exactly. Which goes to my whole thing of I think this has to come down to him being a narcissist and he doesn't want his kid to do better than he did. Last month, when Bernie Sanders had a conference call with the dozens of people on his New Hampshire steering committee, he thanked them for their work in 2016 and said it was crucial that they get involved in upcoming midterm elections. He never mentioned Levi's campaign. Well, of course not, because it's all got to be about him. Why would he bring up his... When he's talking to, you know, the Bernie bros and hoes, you know... Why the fuck would he want to make it about his son being the narcissistic fuck that he is? Duh! I don't know anyone, not one person in New Hampshire, in the New Hampshire Bernie community who is excited about Levi running, said State Representative Tim Smith, a Manchester Democrat who's unaligned in the race and the de facto leader of Bernie Sanders' network of supporters in the congressional district's largest city. This is so fucked up. This, to me, if I was a reporter for the Boston Globe, I would dig deeper into why these people are saying these things. Because it doesn't fucking make sense. Oh, there's, we just went through with the name recognition bullshit. Okay? No one's excited. No one knows who he is. If people fucking said, oh yeah, Bernie's kid's running. You don't think that's going to draw attention to him? Are you fucking high to think that it won't? I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. I also have no idea what Levi thinks his path to victory looks like, and I cannot invent one. Okay. Levi has 2 endorsements, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy and Representative Ro Khanna of California. Yeah, he's got people outside the fucking state. His own fucking father being, as I think I've kind of shown here and proven, you know, just talking about things he's done, how he acts, is a narcissist. Because of that narcissism, he won't help his own fucking kid out. But these people, they got no problem with it. Levi is unapologetic about a progressive economic vision, Khanna told the Globe. He gets that Democrats need to have concrete plans for creating good-paying jobs and addressing wage stagnation. He also is passionate about getting money out of politics. I was impressed by how vocal he has been on these issues and spoke for hours with him about his philosophy. I endorsed him because I believe he's the type of bold leader Congress needs. You know, I hate to say this because I can't believe that I am, but I actually kind of believe this Khanna. I really have to say that she seems like she's being sincere. So maybe when it comes to the idea of, you know, him going against the Democratic cloth of money out of politics and all that other shit, you know, and supporting big corporations, maybe that's one reason why. That all these other Democrats are like Levi. But, I mean, the thing is she sounds kind of genuine. It's not that California, you know, faux genuinism fucking bullshit. Or faux being genuine. Levi is Bernie Sanders' only biological child. He also has 3 stepchildren from a previous marriage of his wife, Jane. His stepdaughter, Karina Driscoll, ran an unsuccessful campaign for Burlington mayor. She also did not have an explicit endorsement from Bernie Sanders. Well, he won't even... He won't even, to quote the great Jackie Gleason from the original Smokey and the Bandit movie, okay? He won't even endorse the fruit of his loins. Okay? He won't endorse Junior. You think he's going to endorse his stepchild when he's as narcissistic as he is? Fuck no. Of course not. Levi Sanders' campaign website does not mention his father. The main page does include a photo, but in it, his father is walking away from him, only recognizable by his slumping posture and white head of hair. Huh. To me, that kind of sounds like a statement from the kid using the picture. That sounds like something Levi... I mean, when Levi makes a comment about how he's the son of the basis for George Costanza. Okay, he's the son of the cousin of that guy. Larry, whatever the fuck his HBO show and... God, what the fuck is his name? I said it earlier. Anyways. But when he'll do that, and he's got a picture of his father walking away from him, that says a lot. That backs what I'm saying. Which would explain this animosity and why Bernie won't endorse his kid. I think it's because of the narcissism, like I said. The website does not allude to his family, but his campaign text could have easily been written by the elder Sanders. Huh. Okay. For over 17 years, I have represented the working class who have been beaten up by the system, he writes. It is time to demand that we have a system which represents the 99%, not the 1%, who have never had it so good. You mean the 1/10 of 1%. Because a large majority of the quote-unquote 1% are fucking middle class, making 6 figures to support a family. That's middle class. That's been middle class since money was worth, I don't know, twice as much. When I was, say, half my lifetime ago. But, I mean, I've covered this, I believe, well enough. I mean, we're 43 minutes and change here. And so, I'm going to leave things here, but in closing first, I just want to say, when this is going on, and they're trying to play it like, it's because of Levi's, campaign or whatever, and trying to hide the fact that, it could be the fact that, Bernie is a cocksucker, he's a fucking prick, and he's a narcissist, and he, can't have his kids succeed and do better than him. I mean, because that's how it looks. I mean, no matter how much they try to paint this picture of it being otherwise, that's how I see this.
I see Bernie going, I cannot have my kid run for Congress and succeed. I mean, here I am. I was a fucking waste of space for over 40 years of my life. I fucking managed to get a government job running for politics where my shit's secure. And I can't have my kid show me up.
I mean, when it looks like that and it smells, when it looks like that, it probably is that type of situation. Because, I mean, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, odds are it's a fucking duck. Anyway, have a good one. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.